I guess we ought to just start the show off right and get into that not-so-breaking off-season news.
I appreciate you.
Not-so-breaking off-season news.
Sorry about that, Chad. Once I click it, it goes.
That's me. I was just going to say, I appreciate you guys keeping the wide receiver list down to the top 10.
You didn't want 96?
Yeah,
that's true. I don't know if Matt knows this, but I did put in some honorable mentions because there's just some names I couldn't not mention. I don't think they're top 10, but I just couldn't leave them without getting some recognition.
I didn't write down any honorable mentions, but I'm pretty sure I could think of a couple when we get to that point.
All right. Well, in the not-so-breaking off-season news,
we have an Watt watch.
The Watt watch?
Yes.
What are we watching?
JJ. He's finally found a home, and it wasn't where we expected.
It's where nobody expected. Even he was like, listen, it's like Cleveland, Pittsburgh, and Buffalo. And then he's like, I'm in Arizona.
Yeah. JJ was the Cardinal for the next 2 years.
Listening to, what is it, 32 million, 23 guaranteed? I mean, he got him a little bit of money because I'm sure JJ Watt needed it.
Well, the scariest part is he's on the same defensive line now, or that's in the same defense as Chandler Jones, who's also a pass rushing monster.
Oh, he is, and it's going to make him pretty dangerous. But we'll get into it more as we go on in the show. But he said he wanted to go to a winning team. I mean, technically, I think they had a winning record, but they didn't even make the playoffs. Is he enough that he makes them that top-notch team? I mean, they're going to talk like it, but at his age, at his injury proneness.
Yeah. Well, he played every game last season, so that's a step in the right direction.
And Desean Watson was one of the highest, one of the highest passing yards amount in the NFL, and they were horrible.
Yeah.
So if JJ Watt's that piece, why didn't he do it in Houston last year?
Well, because Houston's a terrible organization. I'll say
they are. But he, that's the thing. If he wanted to win a ring like he said he did, I don't necessarily think he picked the right team. But if he wanted a defensive scheme that he's Chad was just dropping bombs behind me. Anyway, but if he wanted a defensive scheme that he's comfortable with because he's worked with the coach before, if he wanted warm weather, if he wanted a dome, he got all that. And I can't blame the man. I mean, I like Kyler Murray. I like little Smokies running around out there. I like DeAndre Hopkins. I like Chandler Jones. I guess they are losing Patrick Peterson out there, but I like the team. I do like Arizona. But as far as going to the Super Bowl, I don't think so. When it comes to the NFC, I mean, with Green Bay out there, I mean, technically, I guess Tampa Bay is still a consideration. There's just teams, Seattle, that I still put over them. So
yeah.
I think they're moving in the right direction. I think Kyler Murray with another year under his belt, I think in the draft is going to be big for them. I mean, you got to, if you're going to contend, man, it all starts in the trenches in my books, man. You got to have an O-line. You got to have a D-line. I mean, they've got the best wide receiver in football.
Is it?
At least a top three. And Kyler Murray, man, I think he's I don't know, he's shown me enough that I'm on board. I think he could be good. I really do.
Well, I'm on record saying that Kyler Murray is everything that people want Lamar Jackson to be. I think he is.
Yeah.
He can run and he's a talented quarterback and he's bite-sized. Anyway, but it's kind of funny though that we talk about JJ Watt going there because that puts him in the same division as Russell Wilson twice a year. And what's Russell Wilson complaining about? Getting hit too much. So Russell Wilson came out this year, in the last week or so, said that he wants to stay in Seattle. But if you guys want to trade me, here's 4 teams I'll go to: Cowboys, Saints, Bears, or Raiders.
I think it's a good chance for, obviously, if you're Seattle, I think, just like we talked the other day, I think you got to sit down with him. You got to say, look, where's your head at? And he's got to come out and he's got to say, well, you've got me the wide receiver,
A couple of them.
Yeah.
Lockett and Metcalf.
I think at this point, you know, you gotta. I don't know. I don't know what they really need. I mean, I think their defense is.
They need more line.
Offensive line.
Yeah. Well, you don't just develop a kid right out of college to be a stud offensive lineman. Typically, I mean, it takes a few years for these offensive linemen to come out of college to be really good. I feel, but find out where his head's at, man. Russell Wilson. I mean, if they could trade him, just think what they'd get on a trade. It's a rebuild. I don't know. I would try to hold on to the guy. Patrick knows where I am with Russell Wilson. He's a gamer, dude. He's a gamer.
Yeah.
And
At least for half the season.
Dude, he works out.
Life breaks down.
I think he's one of the guys that works out harder. I think he devotes time to the game more than a lot of others. I don't know.
Yeah, absolutely.
But I'll be honest, man. I got nothing against Dallas doing good. I would so hope. I don't want to see them be good for like 5 years straight or some crap, because then we got to listen to a bunch of fans that are just. But
if they're good for 1 year, you're going to listen to it for the next 20.
I would like to see Russell Wilson go to the Cowboys, push Dak Prescott into a different area. I mean, Russell Wilson's got what, 4 more years, five more years probably?
I don't know.
Russell?
Quarterbacks are playing longer and longer now, and he hasn't.
No, he might have another 10 in him.
Yeah, and he hasn't missed a game yet.
And not if he keeps getting hit that much.
Well, the way he's been getting hit, he don't.
Yeah, if you can protect him, you can get another 10 years out of Russell Wilson.
I don't know about 10, maybe 6 or 7.
Well, I think just last year I said you can get another 10 years out of Aaron Rodgers.
You're crazy.
Sure. As long as he doesn't get hurt, Aaron Rodgers takes care of himself enough that he can keep playing. I mean, he's 37, and his production's only gone up.
I don't know that I would go that far, Heather. I think that Russell Wilson of the Bears makes them better. But, I mean, if you guys lose Allen Robinson, who's he throwing to? I mean, there's a good run game behind him. So, I mean, that's a chance. But
I like where our head's at, too. I'm a huge Bears fan, man. I am. I love the Bears. I would like to see him go there, but I don't think it's going to be a difference maker there.
I can't have the Bears be good.
No.
The Bears better than the Cowboys any day. But
because I'm a Packers fan, they're our rival. I can't have them be good.
So, on the Russell Wilson trade, there's 2 school of thoughts, because I think I might have sent it to you, Chad. There's that fake thing going around about trading Patrick Mahomes to the Falcons. And you could do so much with something like that because you get so much. And that's kind of how Russell Wilson is. My number one thing is I probably wouldn't do it because I've watched the Buffalo Bills search for a quarterback for 25 years. You know, it's so hard to get a hold of one. Once you do not let go of him.
Yeah.
But when was Pete Carroll the best? When he first got there and he had
the Legion of Boom.
No money invested in anybody at the time. He got, 5th rounders, 6th rounders, 2nd rounders, 3rd rounders, and he built this team out of people he didn't have to pay. And as soon as, they won a Super Bowl, went back to another one, and then the team just started dropping off as they had to start paying people. So I think that's kind of where he might be best. So he might consider it. But when it comes down to it, in my opinion, if you have that stud quarterback, which Russell Wilson is, you do not let him go for the life of you.
I agree, but I think I just like seeing change.
Yeah.
It's kind of fun, especially watching like Tom Brady go. You're not in that era where someone's with the team the entire career anymore. It's not so weird to see people go somewhere, even the stud quarterbacks. Man, look at Chad off full screen behind me. Oh, man, that's great.
What's that?
You look at your – yeah.
Oh, I see it.
Yeah. Anyway, yeah, you're looking at like this tiny phone. It's probably not as easy to see things. All right, guys. If you're watching, go ahead and throw a like on that video. If you aren't subscribed, subscribe to us. Find us on the socials and then hit up those comments. We'll hit them as we go. But we appreciate you watching. Desean Watson, willing to sit out the year if they don't trade him.
What options does he have left? They're still telling every team they're not dealing him. He wants to leave, and Houston's like, "No, you're stuck here."
I think they will. I don't see how they can keep him at this point. If he's willing to sit out the year, at this point, you're just being prideful, and it's just stupid. Just let him go be. Let him go be happy. Get a ton of draft picks for him. You need the draft picks.
Here's why. Think about this. They can play hardball back, and the only thing that's going to hurt is them. And I'll tell you why. The longer that they say we're not trading, some of these other teams that would really like to have Desean Watson is going to start saying, okay, they're not going to trade him, so
basically
start making reservations on draft night to do this.
Carolina or Denver.
What's that?
Carolina or Denver, basically the ones, maybe Miami, which I think he said he wanted to go to Carolina. I think that's what's going to end up happening. Teddy Bridgewater will end up in Houston. He'll be in Carolina. Houston's going to give up the farm. But they still have Christian McCaffrey. They still have the Samuel and whoever the receivers are. DJ Moore, I think. So.
Oh, Watson would be so dangerous if he had a healthy Christian McCaffrey behind him. Ooh. That'd be a nasty offense.
No, that'd be great. I think they'd be a favorite to go to the Super Bowl if they did that. At least deep into the playoffs. Desean Watson in Carolina with a healthy Christian McCaffrey.
Their defense,
solid offense. They got good receivers. They got a good quarterback. They got a good running back, and that defense isn't something to slouch on.
It's middle of the pack defense. They'd at least be favorites to probably win the division if they got that. If that move happened.
Yeah. Well, I'd say that's probably right. So we can get to a couple of cuts right now if you want, unless you have more on Desean Watson. That one's going to be an ongoing thing, so I don't feel.
I just hope he eventually gets out of Houston because I don't like seeing a player like that be so unhappy.
I agree.
Well, I hate it. He sits. I mean,
he's a superior talent in the NFL, and some of these guys, their best years. I mean, you only got 5 or 6 years, and he just showed Houston probably 3 of them, right?
Yeah.
I mean, he may have 8 or 10 years. I don't know, but I'm just saying, like, I'm at the time and age, I'm not old school enough to say, you signed a contract, you do. You know what? I get it, man. Nowadays, it's about you want a ring. And obviously, the owner, again, saying some of the crap he said, I get it, man. Let him go. Get a shit ton for him, though.
Yeah. Well, I don't even think it's about getting a ring for him. He just wants to play somewhere where he's happy.
No, that ain't no joke.
He's a winner. I think he's a winner, man. I mean, he was a winner at Clemson, dude. I mean,
yeah. No, he's definitely got all the talent in the world. But yeah, if Houston's going to be hard-headed, it's only going to hurt them in the end. But honestly, they kind of deserve it. They put themselves in this position.
Yeah.
They really did. It was that whole Bill O'Brien. They were like rocking it up until Bill O'Brien, and he just annihilated that franchise.
Oh, yeah. Once they made him the head coach and general manager, whew, that's just proof that you can't trust somebody with a butt chin.
Well, I mean, maybe, but I don't know that he really had the reputation. I don't think he had the experience, the reputation, the pedigree to give him that much.
He didn't.
You were smart enough to hide it.
You don't have a butt chin, Ogre.
I don't know. I haven't seen his chin in a while.
Well, he just like
either one of them.
Oh, damn!
I ain't got no 2 chins.
I'm just messing with you because I got a couple.
The Smith chin, man. It's a defined.
Yeah, no, he was looking at. I think he's looking at my camera by accident.
No, I just wanted to make a mean joke, and it wasn't very nice. I apologize. I shouldn't do that. All right, let's get to some cuts real quick.
The guy who's in the best shape on this podcast.
Yeah, no kidding. Kyle Van Noy, cut. Kyle Rudolph, cut.
Boy, don't be a Kyle in the NFL.
No kidding her. Golden Tate, cut. Let me see. I had a couple others. Jared Cook, cut. Yeah. Josh Hill, cut. Big time things going on. Yeah. New Orleans is they're cutting everybody. Man, I think they're still $61 million over the cap. So they've got to do a lot.
Has And Drew still hasn't officially retired yet, has he?
Oh, has he? Has he not?
I haven't seen.
Well, what's he doing? And Drew Brees watched this week. He has not retired yet.
I hope those are recent workout pics because that arm looked good there.
Well, the one where he was thrown through the ring's not good, but that the first video of him pushing the sled, that's what broke the media, that everybody started worrying he was coming back because he's working his ass off right now. So,
well, I mean, he's going to have to if he wants to come back and be productive because
anybody can do it. It's Drew Brees.
That's true. But
I'm just glad you set that up because I was getting ready to do the Drew Brees thing and you just like locked it in there for me.
There's nothing better than an accidental segue.
No, I love it. And there's not really just a segue. It just, you have to have Drew Brees watch. Drew Brees watch.
Say that 5 times real fast.
All right. So he disappeared.
That magic.
But probably the most surprising cut, like Kyle Rudolph, he's 10 years in. I mean, he's a solid tight end, but they're at that time, the money doesn't equate the production. So I get it. He'll get picked up quick as lightning. No big deal. Kyle Van Noy, I mean, he just signed like a $53 million last year. And maybe it was like a deal that the Dolphins and the Patriots had, like, hey, we're going to be really bad after Tom leaves. You take Van Noy for a year, we want him back. Because he's solid. Like, I always hated playing against Van Noy. So he couldn't have been that bad. So I don't know what's going on there.
I'm not sure either. I didn't see any details as to why they cut him. But yeah, there hasn't been any. That's really odd that they went back on that deal so quickly.
Yeah, and that's one of those things where, there was supposed to be 20 to 30 million guaranteed, and I figured if it's guaranteed, they're supposed to
it's
they're supposed to pay it. But it sounds like they don't have to. He's only going to make 15. Oh man, look at this. You ready for the Sailors?
M. Kimmel II.
Who's what guy? There's 3 guys.
I think so. Chad.
That's Chad.
But yeah, that's really odd. If he goes back to New England, they'll probably get him on a deal, and that'd be a huge pick.
No, especially if that guaranteed money's still coming in. I'm sure he'll take a pretty, he won't take very much money to go back to New England in a system he knows that he's productive in and still make money. Mm-hmm. It's pretty awesome. So, other than that, I think you told me that Big Ben has a timeline for restructuring his contract.
Yes, he definitely wants to come back, and the Steelers want him back because they're gluttons for punishment.
He's still good enough. Who are they going to have that's not that good? So it makes sense to bring him back.
Yeah, but within the next few weeks, they want his deal done. They want to come to some kind of agreement.
Now, do they already have a deal? Like, is he in a contract and they just have to restructure it because he's old? Or is he actually end of his contract now?
I'm almost positive he was at the end of his contract after last season.
I thought so too. So they just want to get a new deal. It's probably going to be a 2-year deal.
Because they had to wait. Because they had to wait to see if he's going to retire or not.
25 million. I mean, he's not going to get top level Patrick Mahomes money, but he's probably in that $25 million.
Why don't a guy like that just take like $3 million a year and allow his team to bring in? I mean, like what Brady's done over the years, dude. Come on, he's made. I mean,
there's ways to do it, but yeah, I think he should realize. I mean, I don't know why all players don't realize at this point in time. Why do you? Oh, well, they're pressured by the union because if they don't take the big money, it messes with everybody else's contract. But myself, I'm good with several $1 million to play football. I would take that middle of the road and then bring in the talent around me because if you're taking top level quarterback money, you've killed your chances at stuff. You're having to work with inferior talent.
I mean, listen,
that's not true. What the Chiefs are doing.
Patrick Mahomes' contract is one of the smartest things ever. It's going to start off big money, but since it's 10 years, while all the quarterbacks go up in price, he's going to level out. So he, by the end of his contract, if they don't redo him right, like 5 years in, he's going to be making mid-level to low-level quarterback money.
Yeah, but even
That's
now,
smart.
in the bigger part of his contract, the Chiefs haven't lost anybody around him.
Oh, that'll. I mean, they're over the cap right now, so they're going to have to do some stuff. But they've done some pretty good job maneuvering. So we'll see what happens with them. But yeah, give it next year. I think they'll probably be, unless the cap makes a huge jump, they'll be in some trouble. Too much talent.
Our biggest thing is we don't need to sign any running backs to any type of contract. I feel like our GM has done an incredible job drafting good running backs.
Mm-hmm.
And I mean, at this point, we've done an excellent job at really drafting pass rushers for a while and outside linebackers and stuff.
You guys have done good on interior linemen. It seems like as soon as one gets the new contract, you guys draft an even better one.
Yeah, so I have faith in the system. But
all right, I think that hits everything except for the saddest story.
Yeah, got a little heartbreak today.
All right, guys. If you haven't heard, Chad, you're going to hear now, and I hope you have heard, so you've been able to brace yourself. This doesn't hurt too bad. But the Washington football team is set. I don't think they've done it yet, but they are set to cut Alex Smith. And I always say, we all can agree that we love Alex Smith. But apparently not everybody loves Alex Smith. Not that one guy that loves Ben Roethlisberger. And not the football team.
You know what?
Sequence.
It almost seems like it even played the music slower this time because it's so sad. So we all can agree that everybody except for the football team and that one guy that voted for Ben Roethlisberger for comeback player of the year, we all love Alex Smith.
You know what? He looked pretty good in that burgundy, the gold 11, the gold pants. I mean, that's a pretty sharp looking uniform too. I mean, he looked good in it.
Yeah.
So what do you think starting for the Patriots next year?
You know what? No. He would be a good guy for the Patriots. I think, honestly, man, let him go out in I say, send him to Dallas, man.
They won't. They'll have Dak back. They won't start him.
I don't want Mike McCarthy to ruin him.
You're right, dude.
Yeah.
There. As long as he don't go to Denver, there's only one player that's ever went to Denver, and I didn't buy his uniform then. I bought his uniform when he went to the Jets, and that's Tim Tebow, baby.
Yeah, I like Tim Tebow. Yeah. So before we get off the not-so-breaking offseason news, I forgot when we were talking about J.J. Watt, Chad asked me to have this ready for him. Is that the picture, Chad?
Yep, that's the one.
That is J.J. Watt at the Pat Tillman area, honoring who came before him there. And actually, to get number 99, because I don't know if you guys realize this, but 99 was retired by the Arizona Cardinals.
Was it really?
And to get it, I forget who the guy was. He played in like the 40s and 50s or something like that.
Yeah,
but
Goldberg.
J.J. Watt went to his daughter and asked permission to get 99, and they gave him permission, so they will have 99.
You're kidding.
Nope, they're bringing it out of retirement, which I don't know that I'm a fan of that, but at least he went to the family and said, "Hey, I need this."
Hey man, J.J. Watt's a big enough acquisition that it's not like. Can we even name the player that's number 99?
Marshall Goldberg.
Okay. If he was going to the Chicago Bears and he wanted 34, that would be a no. If he was going to San Francisco and he wanted 16, that would be a no. Marshall Goldberg, I'm sure, was a fine, outstanding young man that played hard, but J.J. Watt is J.J. Watt. And what he's done for the city of Houston, I hope he does the same cool stuff in Phoenix, man.
Oh, I'm sure he will.
I mean, he is a class act player, dude. I mean, I've seen him jump straight up on top of, like, things higher than his head almost. I mean, the guy is unreal. He's a freak.
There's very few people I love in football as much as I love J.J. Watt.
Yeah.
And because one of the things that he said when he first came into the league, they're like, well, you know, you're saving your money and you're not out partying like all these other players. He goes, I've got, you know, like a 5 to 10 year window to do my craft and make my money. I'll have plenty of time to party afterwards. I'm going to get better at football. You got to love that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. Well,
like as much as J.J. Watt, but one of them also plays in Arizona for now.
Who?
Larry Fitzgerald.
Yeah. You know, what's funny about Larry, and everybody loves Larry, but Larry Fitzgerald said that, you know, when he come in, he was kind of a diva receiver, but he had Kurt Warner, and Kurt Warner put the smackdown on him and put him in, and he's been one of the most respectful dudes ever. So
I mean, I never saw the diva in him.
No, I didn't either, but that's because Kurt Warner stamped that out. He got it and made him the team first, and I hope he plays and breaks every record. He is Larry Legend.
Yep.
All right, guys. Well, that is your not so breaking off-season news.
Not so breaking off-season news.